All right, good morning, folks. Sitting here having my coffee. The sun is starting to come up and come on. It's probably about 7:30, almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Uh, Geez, I just woke up. Hold on a second. Let me get my coffee. All right, what's the title to this video? Oh, was the Delphi case some kind of a YouTube cult or something? I don't know. I think we're seeing a lot of these people down there, down south, that were involved with a couple of these YouTube channels um, that pretty much basically were controlling the case, attacking anybody that got too close to the truth. I would have to say Indiana's got a serious problem. That's probably what I would say. Right? No matter what, no matter if it's this Odin cult or just the YouTubers uh, themselves that are wrapped up in illegal activities. Um, we've had our computers hacked. We're not sure if it's the government. They're saying the government's corrupt or the police force or whatever. I really don't know, but I can pretty much guarantee that if Indiana don't straighten their crap up, I think these other organizations are coming in. Even there's talk of even surrounding Indiana down south there and taking care of this trouble. Well, a lot of people call them vigilantes or whatever, but whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I probably would say they got a big trouble, big troubles coming down south. I was watching a YouTube channel last night, and some people were saying, could the KKK been involved in this? Because when this case first came out, there was reports that K's were carved into the trees out there. But what these idiots don't know, and they might have been on a drug fuel high down there, these YouTubers, whatever, is when they're clearing property, surveying property and clearing property, even national or uh, the town keeps up with the property. They send people out there to clear land, um, survey land. If someone's going to be selling land, send people out to survey it. So what do I think? This whole thing, the whole thing, uh, is corrupt. Right? Now look at my internet's messing up, and this is possible that these folks are doing that, whether they're jamming the signal or trying to hack into my computer. That will also mess up your YouTube and computer. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's any way out of this, folks. For these people, it's so far corrupt. Even these YouTubers are saying now the police are corrupt. You got the president saying everybody's corrupt. You got everybody saying everyone's corrupt. Well, guess what? If that's the case, folks, look around. Uh, and look at what will not no longer be so beautiful in America. Because I have a feeling the main people in power right now are going to wipe these people out, uh, just to bring peace and order back to America. I know a lot of people are shocked and saying that they're so corrupt and everything, and these Masonic lodges and all this crap and everything, man. It's, uh, yeah, we, like I said, though, pretty soon here, they won't have no choice. They'll have to burn America down. I wonder if they'll bring in Bill Gates for this, or if I wonder if they'll just let the military handle it and everybody will just go to sleep one night and never wake up again. I don't know, but it's gotten pretty crazy out there. I'll tell you that much with this Delphi case. And I do think we've seen a lot of these YouTubers out there. We have them on camera. Uh, I don't know what they were smoking. I don't know what they were injecting into their bodies. But these idiots down south there and these idiots involved in this Delphi case, these YouTubers down there that were hanging with certain individuals down there, uh, I think they got themselves in a little bit of ringer. These guys were pumping junk into their veins. They were smoking all kinds of cannabis right on top. Yeah, Frank Meister and all them guys down there, Greeno and all them. And what these idiots failed to see is, sure, the state might have legalized cannabis, but when you're all over the internet and you're doing illegal drugs on the internet where people can actually see you doing them, well, then the federal government gets involved, right? And once the federal government gets involved, it's all over with. Nope. They'll come into any state they want and they'll take what they want. And that makes sense now. This is why we know that that Indiana will be targeted more, because that makes sense. Because I remember the police getting on the news and talking about it, and in the same breath, it was also on the radio. The Indiana militia said that they would help the police if they needed help. So I imagine we're going to have a war, folks, in Indiana. This war will start in Indiana, down south down there. And from what I've been told, there's other states that are coming in to take on this Indiana police department, and because everyone's saying they're corrupt. And that makes sense if the militia's been on national TV and on the radio saying that they're going to back up the Indiana police. Well, I imagine they hit it right on the button. Everything might be corrupt. And a lot of these YouTubers did have connections with authorities. So I imagine it's going to be radical. I want to keep the cameras rolling. Keep all the cameras rolling. Try and get as much of this on film as you can. This has never been filmed before. Mr. Trump's right about that. And I think that's why we're getting so much backlash, but is because most of these people voted Democrat or whatever, Joe Biden fans or whatever out here. I don't know. It'll be radical. It'll be phenomenal. The country's going slowly but surely. The dollar's going. Other countries now are saying we don't want Americans in. And this is what happens when you have a group of people in power that would rather have destruction and choke America out. And that's exactly what these people are doing right now that are calling the shots. They're choking America out. Right? Now, a lot of people are pissed at me, calling me a communist, because I think it would be best for America to make peace with China and Russia again. Um, yeah, it's really hitting us in the pockets. I can tell you that. But this is going to be a worldwide problem here soon. And I'm going to tell you folks this. I know you folks think America is the baddest thing since uh, sliced pie or pizza or whatever. But the real truth is these people played America just the way they wanted. Ammo's gone. The citizens have bought up a lot of pea shooter weaponry, right? A lot of ammo. So I would suggest the United States military, the Pentagon, pull out of these areas that you are using our military and our weapons and our ammo. And I would save your ammo because pretty soon this whole world's going to turn on America, and they'll have no choice. They'll have no choice, folks, but to use the only weaponry really they have left, the only real ammo they have left, biological chemicals and nuclear weapons. That's the only thing they got left, folks. Just too crazy, right? Canada don't even want uh, too much to do with America right now. And that's going to be our main place. We only got two places to go, either Canada or Mexico. And the American dollar is poo-pooed. Nah, it's unbelievable. What can we do to save it? I don't know. But I can tell you this much. Uh, Murder case. Bottom line is, folks, it all led to these secret organizations, these gangs that these people have been talking about, uh, and drugs and sex, kiddie porn stuff. So what do I think's going on? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. I know there's people looking for Masonic lodges, symbols around town, Indiana, Angola area, up north here, all the areas up here, because these people brought in the Freemasons, right? They in some of these murder cases that we've been watching. These folks are talking about Freemasons and secret societies and everything. So they really targeted themselves, right? Now everybody's looking for a Freemason building or Freemasons. And now even these Odins, the great Odins, right? This has turned into a madhouse. And when something turns into a madhouse like this and you got no control over it, the next step we do, Pentagon and military and everything, is you got to wipe out the problem, folks, before it spreads amongst this country. And I think that's what they're getting ready to do. A lot of people have been talking in the Delphi case, and it is just so crazy. It's one of them cases that it's time to, it's time to bring in real heavy hitters. And people have been threatened by police and militias and secret organizations. And I think it's time the United States military, Pentagon, the four other branches exist, folks. I think it's time for them to flex their muscle in America. Hell, we're the only ones that have been holding on to all the ammo. we've been sitting back waiting to see how this is going to play out. But that's really pretty much is what all they got. Trump was right. They're running out of ammo. Could you could you create ammo fast enough to keep up with the supply in the war? No. We ain't got enough facilities to create it. So the only best thing that you got is our nuclear devices that we've been working on, and biological, uh, chemical warfare. That's pretty much about what's left in the ammo department. So I think it's going to be interesting. Keep the cameras rolling. Hey, I'm poor, right? People say, well, your place looks so nice and you got a lot of nice. This, everything you've seen in this apartment is either pawn shop bought or garage sale or barn sales or whatever. Just because I'm poor don't mean I have to live like I'm a poor man. People love the outside of my apartment, right? I put in a patio and fixed it up outside, bunch of plants and everything. Just because I'm poor don't mean I have to live like I'm in the gutters of Chicago in the alleys, which I used to be when I was younger. But just because you're poor don't mean you have to act like it or look like it. So I think we got trouble coming in America. I don't think they know what to do. You need a leader in there with a half a brain that's going to tighten up America. Down south, right? This little cult. Is it a YouTube cult that actually did the murders and tried to pin it on somebody else? Well, very well may be that way. Hey, listen, if these YouTubers are friends with cops and they know these cops, right? If they're friends with these Masonic lodges and cults and stuff, uh, yeah, these people created a mess and then they tried to become the heroes. No, a lot of people are saying they should hire me. I've been to a couple places and everyone's, we should hire you. No, I got a disability. And for one, I don't know anything to be true because in order to say this is what happened in the Delphi case, you would need all the proof, all the evidence, all the crime scene photos, all the DNA, all the data from all the phones that these guys were talking. They all knew each other, folks. They're all covering for each other, right? They wanted this war. They wanted. Did they sacrifice the two girls to bring on their militia war that they wanted, or whatever the Indiana militia police department war or whatever? I don't know. You know what's funny is would the police department even use the militia? I mean, folks, we're living in ancient times. These folks still use militias. Like, this is unbelievable. And you know what? It ain't even a militia. You know who it is? The KKK, which is an organization that probably claims that they're the Indiana militia. And this just makes more sense and everything. Now, if the government called me, Pentagon called me, Congress and Senate, the War Office called and said, what do you think? A crater. Right? We're going to build a new Grand Canyon in Indiana in the center of America. It'd have been gone, folks. And people have to sacrifice. They've been sacrificing us for so long. So these people would just be casualties of war. I know it sounds sick, but this is my movie. It's my imagination, right? They have to do something. This is getting outrageous, all this. craziness. Now, what did these YouTubers do? Is it a YouTube cult? I think it might be some kind of a fan base or something where these folks are. And you notice only certain big people with big channels and big views are allowed to uh, cover the case. You know, folks, YouTube has changed so much. When I started in the crime community, I can remember doing a video on the Delphi case, ending the video, and I'd have 320 views on it or playbacks, right? People playing back, listening to what I was saying and everything. And that was a lot of videos I did on Delphi, right? Now, being I'm not no Anthony Greeno or Frank Meister or these guys that were all uh, in this, right, from the beginning. But why were they in it from the beginning? And all of them were smoking dope and doing banging drugs on their channels, right? But yet these are the guys that solved the case. I don't know. This is phenomenal. Well, first of all, I want to thank God for this day. Forgive us for all of our sins. Coffee tastes good this morning. Ah, well, I don't know, folks, but these folks got themselves into a pickle. They really did. They really got themselves into a pickle, some of these YouTubers. And we're seeing it, these big bullies. They are YouTubers. I've been watching all of them. All these guys that were in any videos having to do with Sean Harmon or Anthony Greeno or a couple of the other of these YouTube channels out there. Now, a lot of people are saying it was this one group out there or whatever down south down there. I don't know. I think the guy's first name was Michael or something. He's got a YouTube channel, not Michael Cat. I'm not talking about Michael Cat. Some other guy, Wild Wilderness Event or Investigations or something like some dude Michael or something. And his little group of guys. I don't know. Maybe. It'll be interesting. And here's the thing. There ain't none of my stuff, these people's content. They keep saying, you're stealing my content. I didn't steal nothing from you idiots. I'm watching what you folks are saying. And then I give my opinion on it. And for one, I keep telling these dudes, we have no idea what happened because we don't have the proof. How do you folks know exactly what happened? You would have had to been there. or you would have had to been a part of the collusion to create this. Right now, I know what you folks are saying. There ain't nothing you guys can do. We're this or that. And we're big YouTube channels. Well, I wouldn't go that far, folks. I think one at a time they're picking these people up and charging them with things. They might not have been there and done the killing, but and it's a crime to divert people away from the truth, which some of these people have done. And I have a feeling it was all because of the money, the $360,000 that was supposedly open. I had no idea there was a reward for this case. But then again, you can't believe anything these YouTubers say. Well, I can tell you what, America's gone to the drug cartels. That's what it's probably happened. You got Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and everything all messed up on drugs and everything, prostitution and all kinds of stuff. I imagine that's what it was. It's a political, religious war. And here the people are stuck in the middle of it. Law-abiding citizens. We have to stick with what we know. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. Hold on a minute. We have to stick with what we know. And we don't even know if that's to be true in this Delphi case. I don't know. Something is controlling us, folks. Some entity, some spirit, some curse is controlling us. If I found out that this was my family that did something like this, or is doing something like this to people, hacking their computers, putting spells on them, they would no longer be a part of my life. And really, I think God has taken these people out of my life because they're very bad people. God will even take your family members out of your life if God finds that they're not good for you. I don't know. I can tell you this much, they made a laughing stock out of this case. The Odins and the sticks and all this, that was brought up in the beginning of the case. But only YouTubers knew about that. How? Right? That must have been a leak within the police force or within a reporter or someone that the police trusted or maybe or questioned. Right? Things didn't go their way, and the next thing you know, they started spreading all kinds of rumors. Now, I'm interested to see, when did they get Anthony Greeno's DNA? Right? When did they ask him for his DNA? Because he did say something about they were asking him for DNA. I thought he said in his video that they did take his DNA. No, I'm not sure. Anthony Greeno says he refused to give them their DNA, that they wanted his DNA. I don't know. Now people are trying to say it was for child support. And I'm like, no. No, it's not for child support. You know, they don't take blood for that. They just use a swab. So we got some of these YouTubers coming up with stories, folks, for a reason. They're trying to protect somebody or something. I don't know. I don't know. It don't look good, if you ask me. Then again, I'm not a professional. I'm just someone with a disability, that's all. Brain problems. Cuckooer than a Cocoa Puff, from what all the scientists say and doctors. We've caught these YouTubers and their channels hacking computers, stealing photos, even sending beautiful women to try and infiltrate and get information in channels. I had one YouTuber saying I was sending photos to some women. I was like, I didn't send no photos to them women. Right? They might have hacked my computer and got them photos, but I never sent any photos to them women. I have sent photos to women I was dating or intimate with. Right? A photo of me or something, but no, I don't know what they're doing. They're just anything they can do to try and blackmail people and scam people is what they're doing. It's a racket. It's just like the mafia, but it's a scaled down version of a mafia crew or a gang or whatever. But if you talk to the real Italians, right, the real mafia guys, they'll come out and tell you, we have no idea who these idiots are. And if they were one of ours, we would have killed them by now. It's the same thing with the bikers and everything. You know, we don't kill little girls and whoever these Odins are, or whatever. You know, I don't know. And that's where there's the confusion. Because a lot of people thought they were talking about the Odins, the biker club, because all these guys were screaming that they belonged to some club, some organization club or something. I don't know. Wipe them out for all I care. I can give two craps. Ain't my problem. Ain't my war. We gotta preserve our ammo. We gotta restock, right? Madness. All right, I gotta shut down here. Enough of this Delphi crap. Folks, if you ain't figured out the Delphi case yet, you won't ever. It's a madhouse. And these folks are only bringing up, they haven't been there the whole case, right? They just haven't been there the whole time. They're coming in right now on this documentation, the Odin files, which in the beginning of the case, like a year, 2 years into the case or something like that, 3 years into the case, these sticks were talked about, right? Symbols and signs were talked about way before this documentation came out that you folks are seeing. It'll be interesting to see what happens out of this. But yeah, they're hacking computers, sending messages, sending all kinds of crap. Right? I still get messages, emails, and whatever. I just delete them, get rid of them. But I can tell you what, one thing this Anthony Greeno dude got himself into a pickle, and he ain't got the he's got a disability also. I think. Well, not, mental illness problem, maybe PTS, maybe or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe we should find out and see what he's talking about. If there's any sense to all this. And here's the thing: if it was anything other, don't you think that we would be hearing about this in the beginning of the case? If all this was true, this would have been the case from day one. If they would have released the information in the beginning, it would have went a different way. All I can say, pretty much. And I'm from Indiana. I got family down south and everything, Indiana and everything. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Uh, Went to high school there and everything. And I can tell you this much: Indiana is a beautiful place, right? But all this Masonic crap, all this KKK crap, all this gang, these biker gangs everywhere and everything, is choking out everything. It really is. Beautiful land, beautiful lakes up here, the Upper Peninsula of Indiana. And if you noticed, a lot of these dudes that were suspects in the case, Boot Scoop Boogied out of Indiana, they were gone. Right now, here is a guy that they're claiming did the murders. Right? Don't you think he would have done the Boot Scoop Boogie out of town? As soon as they even had an inkling that it was him, right? Don't you think if there was an inkling from Richard Allen that he was a suspect, don't you think he had 7 years? Don't you think he would have Boot Scoop Boogied out of town? Was he the only idiot that stuck around? A lot of these people took off out of Indiana. Now here's the thing that is just shocking. Anthony Greeno claims he's from Delphi, Indiana. Born and raised. But yet, when you talk to other people, they're like, he is not from Indiana. He's not. But he claims on his YouTube channel that he's a native, he's a Delphi guy. He lived there. He's from there. It's just shocking. And then you watch other people say, when this whole thing was going on with Greeno, everyone said, he ain't even from Indiana. Everyone's like, what the heck are you talking about? That's the Delphi guy, right? He's a bounty hunter. He's from Delphi, and everyone's like, no, and he's not a bounty hunter. What the heck? Excuse me. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, we got another Ernie show, right? Bounty hunter, Secret Service, FBI agent, right? I'm like, this is unbelievable. I don't know. What do I think? I think these folks were on, and we even asked them, "Are you guys making movies or is this a skit?" No, this is real, man. This ain't no movie or anything. I'm like, all right, sounds cool, right? If it is a movie, then you best put it out there that it's a movie somewhere, somewhere in the fine print that this is some kind of a skit or a script or a movie in the works, whatever. You better put it in fine print. If not, well, then you folks know information that only the killers would have known. Only the killers would have known the stuff you guys are talking. Only the people that orchestrated the murders would have known exactly what these guys know when the police didn't even put it out. And now everyone's going, well, how did you find out? Because I've been on this case for 6 years. I've heard all these idiots go through this case. And yes, the sticks were brought up years and years and years ago, folks. This is nothing new, right? Actually, it was a lot gorier from the information we were getting. We knew about the sticks. We knew about the letters, but they were different letters. They were K's. And they were carved into trees. People were showing trees with the carving of a K in it out there. But now they're saying it's an F. I don't even think it's an F on the tree. I think it's blood splatter from something. Whether the guy was using a stick, and that's probably what I think it was. Maybe somebody out there with a bad leg or something. And then another thing I wanted to bring up to these idiots is Bridge Guy has a limp. He's got a problem with that right leg. If they didn't reverse the video, so his right leg became his left leg. We don't know who put that video out, folks, because the authorities are saying they didn't put a lot of this stuff out. So how did them YouTubers down south there get their hands on this information? I don't care what anybody says. Bridge Guy seems a lot taller to me than 5'4". And he's got a limp. He's got a bad right leg. Now we know what's going on in Indiana. I hope Indiana government knows what's going on. But Bridge Guy had a gait. The way he walked, he had a problem with one of his legs. And you can see it in the stride in his walk. He's babying that right leg. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Now, whoever did the equations on how tall Bridge Guy was, he looks a little bit taller to me than 5'4". Now, the original thing, he was anywhere between 5'8" and 5'10". That's what they were saying. The professionals. This guy is either 5'8", depending on the shadow and the things that they were using. But most of the photos that we were looking at in the Delphi case of Bridge Guy was photoed up. It was edited. And that's why a lot of people were seeing photos and they were saying, this is Bridge Guy. But if you took it and zoomed in on it and put it through a color analyzer, you would see differences in it. You would see different people in it. That's the trickery of photo opping, editing video and everything. So, yeah, explain all this stuff, America, Indiana, explain it. We would love to hear it. What's going on? I have no idea. Is Indiana the main hub that runs the country? I'm not sure. I can't even believe they allow the KKK to exist, right? I can't believe they allow these secret Masonic things to happen in our country. Like I said, when it gets too far, the big dogs that are in charge, the ones that run everything, will say, this has gone crazy enough, and we're going to have to do this, this, and this, or we're going to lose our country. We'll have a zoo on our hands. We'll have to nuke our own country. I think that's what it's coming down to. You know, a lot of people brought Mike Pence into it, Rolling Thunder and all this. And maybe Mike Pence was bringing Rolling Thunder, the biker club, in because he knew that we had a problem with these organizations. This biker club or whatever is out there. All these YouTubers down there keep insisting they belong to some club. I don't know. We want to know what club is doing this, right? I got no beef with the Outlaws. I got no beef with the Banditos, Hells Angels, the Warlocks. They don't kill little girls. We want to know what biker club or secret society is killing these little girls, right? Everyone's claiming now it's the Odins. I ain't never seen an Odin biker club in Indiana. I've seen Outlaws. I've seen the Stinky Banditos. I've seen a lot of clubs because Indiana is this whole biker thing, supposedly. I don't know, John Mellencamp or whatever, biker thing or whatever. Who knows? By the way, I want to give a shout out to John Cougar Mellencamp. But what are we seeing? Madness. And the reason it is madness is because they let it get out of hand. They didn't nip it in the bud. And now it's too late. You can't nip it in the bud either. It's gotten way out of hand. Nothing they could do. Nada. Zippo. They blamed everyone underneath the sun in this case. They've been blaming people left and right. I don't know. If I was Mr. Anthony Greeno, I'd get a lawyer and I'd stay out of the Delphi case. Period. I'd stay out of the crime solving business until the heat's off you. And I say the same to a lot of these people out there that have gotten themselves way in too far. Folks, they don't question you in a double murder of two little girls if they don't think there's some evidence or something there. They questioned a lot of these YouTubers in the Delphi case. So, you know, and then the other night when Greeno said they took his DNA or wanted his DNA. First he said they took his DNA, but then he said they wanted his DNA. That they were trying to set him up on the floral fires. I don't know. Which they say is connected to the Delphi. Well, and everyone's like, well, how can that be connected to the Delphi? Well, the same person that committed the crimes in Floral, right, might be the same guy that's involved in the Delphi case, maybe. I don't know how they would connect them to. Maybe. Which might lead to the other murders of all the girls down there in Delphi. I don't know. We'll remain on DEFCON 2 around here. And it's everywhere, folks. It's everywhere. Every little town, every little city, every state has this trouble. I can't wait for this Delphi case to be over and done with. And pretty much there ain't nothing you can do until it goes into court. That's why everyone's bringing up this old information. It was thrown out of court. They didn't use it in any other information, probably because the FBI went through it and said there's no connection with the Odins. It might have been a couple people that were trying to make it look like it was the Odins. And I agree with that. You'd have to be the most stupidest organization to kill two little girls and point the finger directly at you, at the organization. Stupid, right? That would be the most stupid. You would see them on the most stupidest organizations in America. No, I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me, if you ask me. Heck, they've been attacking my channel for 6 years now, or 5 years. All these delphi got secret societies. If I don't make it, I want you to revenge. I want it to be unbelievable, shocking that people's jaws will drop and say, oh my God, they wiped out a whole state. Is it possible to wipe out a whole state? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Are you kidding me? They wanted to, they can wipe this whole country out. No, I don't know. It's crazy. I can tell you this much, folks. It's my movie. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be phenomenal. All real footage. Everything's real. We don't play games here, right? This is that one movie that everybody wants to get their hands on, and they already have been. I think what we're watching is a bad script that somebody wrote, right? That's what I think. There is a case which is phenomenal. Delphi case. This is the only case where police have been suspects, where YouTubers are suspects. YouTubers that were supposedly in the crime community, the killers among us, right? Remember the one channel? I don't know if you guys watch crime channels, but there's a lady on YouTube that is a crime lady, and I was in her chat, and she flipped out. There's some guy that's a killer in my chat. He's out on bail. They're trying to find him all along. I thought they were joking when they said there was a killer among these people. Are among it. Yeah, they're among it. They watch. Listen to what Sheriff Carter said. What did he say? We believe they're watching us. Sure they are. We're watching them. They're watching us, man. They're all a gang. They're all together, all connected. And I'm sure the data will show that these people have been communicating behind scenes with each other. And you got to be safe, because the way the internet's set up, you think you're talking to a 55-year-old beautiful woman, and it's some dude, right? Or it's some kid. You think you're talking to an adult, right? But it ain't. It's some sicko, some dude, right? Trying to lure you. That's all they do around here. They try and lure people in, and then, aha, we got it. Oh, you sickos. Well, we start, which everything is in the servers, right? All the evidence is in the servers. This might take a while to get all the evidence from these people, but everything lies within the servers. And the only way that they would be able to get rid of the evidence is wipe out the servers. That's the only way they'd be able to get rid of all this evidence, is somebody inside would have to wipe out all the servers. all the DNS servers and all that, or whatever they call it, which is possible. That's maybe why we've been having so much trouble on the internet. Is they're wiping the evidence clean? Possibly, very well, possibly. I don't know. All I can say is zoo is coming to America. It's already been here. Now we're bringing in the zoo tamers to tame all these animals. And it is a zoo, folks. I've been out here for 30 some years. I never heard of some secret organization, the Odins. I heard of Odin. Yeah. It's a Greek mythical god. Right? It's a fable. It is a childhood story that the Vikings used to tell their children and their children. That these idiots or somebody took that it's the Odins. It proves everything to the Pentagon, to the United States government, to the citizens, to Congress, Senate, and everybody, that we still live in a world that is lost in medieval times. Let's send them back to their medieval times, folks. We're really getting sick of you folks using the Lord, the Bible, these secret organizations, your gangs, your clubs, whatever you have to slaughter people. I think a lot of people are getting sick of this madness that our government allows to happen, that our states allow to happen. I'm telling you, boys, we're just waiting for the right guy to get in there. What we need is the right general in there. We need a right president in there, and all this stuff will stop. All this stuff will stop. Like I said, these folks still live in ancient times, folks. They can't let something go that's thousands and thousands of years old. They still live by it today. The great Odin. Madness, complete witchery and sorcery, and all this crap that these people, just madness. It's no wonder they're locking the doors to America while other countries are, and they're saying we don't want this guy. I don't want it. It's in my country. I don't want it. Nobody wants this madness in their country. We're going to continue to hunt down these YouTubers. Listen, folks, they were all over the internet pumping dope into their veins, smoking grass. And I got no problem with these people smoking cannabis. But these people think like they know the law, and they're like, it's legal here in my state. It might be in the state, right? But it ain't federally passed yet. It's still illegal. I don't know. Craziness. When will it end? Hopefully soon, folks. I'm so sick of the lies and manipulation in the Delphi case. And we're connecting them all to YouTube. And these YouTubers have been attacking people for other YouTubers, right? Because we said, they're full of crap. Right? So they attacked us, attacked my channel, attacked people that were in my chat, their channels. I don't know, folks. I can tell you this much. We ain't standing down to these YouTubers. Good morning, humanimal. It's early here. Oh, you're going to bed. Oh, you're out there in Aussie land, Australia. Time difference. It is. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning here. I got up early. I went to bed probably about 1:30. Woke up at like 7:30. It's like, what the heck am I doing up so early? But we're going to continue to look at these YouTubers. There was no way that they should have had this information. It was leaked, and it was leaked either by, like I said, folks, this is the only case on YouTube, pretty much right now, where the police were suspects and these YouTubers were suspects. And that's how we connected that they were leading the case to a different thing. Do I think the Odins did this murder? No. I think it might have been somebody connected with the Odins, might have been interested in their religion or whatever, might have even been kicked out of the Odins in the past, or just might have been a sicko that went in, a group of people, killers, because if you do read the report, it does say killers. And they orchestrated this and made it look like someone else. Very possible. Let me check my chat, see what Humanimal knows. She's been covering this case for a long time, too. YouTubers have definitely been a character in a Delphi, an actor, and people getting leaks are being used. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's turned into a zoo. It really has turned into a zoo. Madhouse, madness. Everyone getting attacked by YouTubers. It's just madness. It really is. And I know Humanimal's got a problem too with YouTubers coming into her channel and harassing her. And they do. They do. I've been in her chat before, and these idiots have come in and attacked her. You know. Paul Dickerson called it a circus. Yeah. Well, Humanimal, you're trying to do a video. It don't bother me that much, but the other day I was watching your video, and you're trying to do a video on the Delphi case, and you got men coming in there saying disgusting things. You know, that's harassment. They don't even talk about the case. They're in there just to say things, right? How beautiful you are. Well, you are a beautiful woman, but they're there to try and get Humanimal to like them or something. I don't know. But here she is trying to do a video on the case, and you got people coming in there. I get it too. Same thing with me. Yeah, exactly, Humanimal. Exactly. The only way is it really a troll, or is it these people that are fans of these big YouTube channels that are so-called crime channels, and they're being paid to attack us? This cult, this YouTube cult. And that's what it's become now, a YouTube crime cult. I'm like, this is madness. I ain't never seen anything like this in my life. Witchery, sorcery, and all that. I'm like, it's not real, right? I've been to a mental health doctor. It's not real, folks. That's what they said. That's why they said I was cuckoo, crazy. You got mental problems. It's not real. This whole thing, God, all this stuff, it's not real. Now that's if you talk to a professional psychologist. They'll tell you it's mass psychosis or schizophrenia or you got brain problems, concussion, whatever it may be. Right? It's not real. What do? We live in a country, in a society where we are led to believe that the Bible is real. The Bible speaks of these things, right? These cults, these vampires, these witches, demons, and all this stuff. Now, you've raised people for centuries to believe that this stuff is real. But if you go to a professional doctor, they'll say, you're nuts. It's not real, folks. It's fables. It's stories that they wrote. I don't know. I don't know who to believe. Does anyone know who to believe? I don't know. We'll just keep going with what we know. Let me read and see what Humanimal's got to say. Yes, CB are lone wolves and can also be flying monkeys. Exactly, flying monkeys. You know what? If they came to me and said, Mr. Kramer, this is what we think. A flying monkey from the Wizard of Oz went rogue and came down and did this. You got proof? Here's the photos. Here's the DNA. It was a flying monkey. All right. Show me proof. Don't show me photos that you are getting that are not real. A YouTuber already came out and proved that the photos that you folks are looking at, the so-called blood splatter, is not actually the real photo of the blood splatter, or F, whatever you folks want to call it. It's an F, a letter. That ain't even real. That was a photoshopped photo that someone was asked to create that scene, the death, the crime scene, and was asked to duplicate it on a computer. And that's what you folks are looking at, is a duplicated photo that was created and was photoshopped. You ain't even seeing the real photo, folks. You are seeing a diagram of a picture in someone's brain that supposedly, and we don't even know if this is true, supposedly seen the crime scene. Explain that. Good morning, Lainey. How you doing? Can the defense get charged for lying? Well, no, this was actually a rumor in the case. They did investigate it, but the FBI found that there was no truth to it. There are Odins. This is an organization. It's real. Right? This organization is real, the Odins. And that's what the government in their research found out. But it was not the Odins itself as a group that did it. And actually, if you read the report, the police say that there was no pattern to the sticks. Right? And when you have psychosis, folks, mental illnesses and stuff, you see patterns. You see patterns in the sky. Even everybody sees patterns. It depends on your brain. You might be looking up in the sky and see a bunny rabbit in a giant cloud. Right? But I might not see that, but you do. And I won't see it until you point it out. Well, see the ears, see the thing. Oh, yeah, it does look like a bunny rabbit. But if you're talking to a professional psychologist, they'll say that's crazy. It's a cloud. There is no pattern to it, right? You gotta really research it to find out. Now, folks, but I've been through all kinds of doctors and everything like that, right? I'm not afraid to say I have a disability, and I went through my whole life with it. I had an accident when I was younger, and I went through my whole life with it. And I worked my whole life in construction and odd jobs, working on cars, mainly construction, roofing, carpentry. I was a framer for a long time. I was in the trades. Can't do it no more. My body's broke down. Even my mind's broke down. And even the people that trained me to build $1 million homes, custom homes for big ballers, even said, you got a problem. Don't know what it is. You're not a crazy cuckoo, but you have a problem, a learning disability or something. Did something happen to you? And I would explain to them, yes, when I was younger, I was in an accident. And back then, in the 70s, they didn't really know about head trauma. And they just said I would be okay, right? You'll be all right. Go on. Of course, my head was split wide open and I needed massive stitches and everything. But eventually, as I went through life, it got worse. And then I retrieved to alcohol and stuff to try and kill the pain in my head and the madness. And just recently, they put me on disability and medication, but I had to stop taking the medication because the medication was killing me. Right? But still, this whole time that I had this disability, I didn't go out and kill people and slaughter people. And what these folks are doing in the Delphi case, some of these people have problems. I understand that. But some of these guys in the Delphi case have disabilities, and they might be seeing something that we're not seeing. They might be autistic, and they're seeing, and it's leading them into things that just ain't real. Possibly, I don't know. I know Humanimal's pretty good at the psychology stuff. I'm not. Right? Let me read my chat and see what the ladies are saying. Laney's here, Humanimal. I've been there, JK. When psychologists, you think your logic is impeccable, and there is actually gapping holes. Same with this mass hypnosis and seeming control, manipulating people easily. The defense, yeah, is use. Humanimal also says is using this to create doubt, which we already knew about the sticks and some of this stuff. A couple of years after the murders, right? 3-4 years after the murders. Let's see what else. ABI, TBI. Yeah. Johnny, I'm glad you did finally get some help. And through my years of paranormal or paranoia, I don't kill either. Yeah, I know, Humanimal. They're like, well, these people got disabilities, mental illness. I'm like, listen, I got problems. I ain't never gone out and raped, pillaged, and created lies and destroyed people's stuff, right? I wasn't raised that way. I don't know how to scam you people. I wasn't raised to scam people. I was raised in a military family. They were military, and they were tradesmen. And I can tell you another thing. This whole Freemason crap, you're not a Freemason, a real Freemason, if you're out killing people. Freemasons are builders. That was the secret. of how to build a cathedral church, how to build a castle, how to build a beautiful home with arch barrels, windows, and hallways, and pentagon or a gazebo. You know, it looked like a castle. That was the secret in the Freemasons. They were builders. They were not groomers. They were not kiddie porn people. They were not any of this. They were builders. And you folks cannot get it through your heads. As the Freemasons, it was these idiots that took the Freemasons and made it a secret organization. The secret was building. That's what Freemasons were. They were builders. I can't believe they let the history of the Freemasons become this. This whole secret behind the doors and all this crap is a bunch of crap, folks. The original Masons were builders, pipe fitters, builders of homes, roads. That was the secret. I don't know who these idiots are claiming to be Freemasons. And they're out killing people and saying it's the Masons. No. Maybe in another country where Freemasons came. And the only way a Freemason would really probably kill you is if you killed their family. Then maybe a Freemason would do that. Or you stole quadrillions of dollars from the Masons. Then probably they would. And they probably wouldn't kill 2 girls. They probably would kill the adults. This whole thing that SH was saying, it was the Mexican cartel, it was the Italian syndicate. I don't know, folks. I grew up around all kinds of colors and races. The Italian mafia, the syndicate, the real ones, the real ball busters, would not kill 2 little girls. They would have killed the parents and everyone else. The syndicate do not kill little girls. Do you understand, folks? The head syndicate guy would have probably wiped out a whole crew if he found out they were killing little girls. Do you understand that, folks? I hope you do. The real matzo ball would say, kill them guys. Right? Because these mafia guys got grandchildren. That's a rule in the mafia. Your family is off limit. Right? They don't kill kids. That's a rule. And it's the same thing with the Masons. They don't kill kids. And it's very rarely that the Masons kill people. And when they do, they'll let you know this was the Masons. There's been numerous cases where the Masons in other countries actually came right out and pinned a note to the body saying that we're the Masons, and this guy was killed because he stole this amount of money from the Mason bank. You know, and this guy did this. The Masons will let you know it was the Freemasons. No way around it. And I'm not seeing that in this case. Let me see what else. Johnny, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I got help Humanimal, I don't know, 8 years ago, 9 years ago or whatever, when they put me on disability. And I had to go through all kinds of doctors and everything. You got brain problems, I think. Oh, really? I've been saying that my whole life, but right? Now, if you tell me to go out and build a wall for you, I can go build you a wall. If you tell me I need my roof done, I can go build a roof. People are like, I'm shocked because I was trained. I wasn't raised to rip people off and scam them. I only know how to make money with my hands or my mind, right? With my imagination and stuff. But I don't know how to scam people. I wasn't raised that way. Sorry, right? I'm shocked that it's gone this far in the case, that it got this extreme. Humanimal, I want to thank you for stopping in. I know she gets harassed too all the time, but she's a woman, and you can expect that. Humanimal's a beautiful woman, uh, so you can expect you get these guys to come in her chat and try and mess it up with saying sick stuff, and they have been in her chat, and they've come here in my chat too, trying to mess everything up. So, but I want to thank you for stopping in, Humanimal, and I've been watching your channel and everything, and yeah, you get some idiots in there, right? I've witnessed it. You get idiots in there. Right? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I think Anthony Greeno needs help. Uh, he should have took people's advice and just got off of YouTube for a while, got his life back together. Heck, he was doing videos from inside prison. He never took a break. He's psychotic now, psychosis. He don't know if he's coming or going, and that's a bad place to be. Uh, in a murder case of two little girls and possibly more women, right? They're starting to connect the dots in this whole thing. People are saying, well, Evansdale might be connected. It might. They're saying Summer Wells might be a whole different thing than what we're hearing. It might be. Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying, Humanimal. They created this whole thing to a ditch effort to try and bring. I do think they're onto something, but I don't think it was the Odins. I think it was somebody that was an Odin from a viewer's point of view, right? These people might have liked Odinism, but they didn't want him to be one of theirs or whatever. This might be a disgruntled kill. Now that we're knowing that one of the girls was 13 years old and she was dating a guy, right? Uh, but that's shocking. Let's see what Humanimal has to say. When you don't toe the party line, we get them harassed yet. And yes, Greeno needs to fall back, but he isn't wired that way. I don't know, Humanimal. If you've been watching, I've been watching a lot of women come forward now saying some stuff about Greeno, and I was like, well, I don't know, because I don't know these guys, right? No, I don't think he's Odin either. I don't think he's an Odin either. But Anthony Greeno keeps talking about this gang that he belonged to or club. Who are they? Right? I don't know. I don't know. People always think I'm uh, doing drugs because I've been coughing lately. Well, I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Uh, I probably should quit smoking cigarettes. No, I'm not doing any drugs right now. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, folks. These people are grasping at anything. I think some of us, humanimal, I think some of us in this case are starting to see through their bull crap, and they're pissed. That's why they're attacking us, right? And you're right, they do use other accounts. You time one of them out, you remove them from your channel, and there they are back again. Now, the only thing I can think of is it could be computer generated, and these are trolls that the YouTube or a hacker created, and it's actually a hacker or a someone that's appointing these people to your, almost like the devil. It's almost like the Bible, right? What did the Bible say? Well, the devil will attack us with demons and all kinds of people. So maybe we got so close to this case where now they're appointing people to attack us, human animal. And I've witnessed her being attacked in her channel. It is worrisome, if true. Abby dating a 17-year-old. Oh, yeah, she was only 13 or 12 at that time. Dating a 17-year-old. This is the problem. Like I was telling people are like, this is disgusting. I'm like, we would have to lock up over half of the world. Why? Because back in the olden days, there was no age restriction. You had men that were 60 years old that were marrying in other countries, marrying 8-year-old girls, had 50, 60 wives. And where do they get it from? The Bible. Because it was in the Bible. This guy was this old, 170 years old. He had 150 wives, and that's where they get this from. Now we got a whole country. Listen, I don't believe in religion. I believe in God Almighty, King of Kings, bringer of light and peace and sanity. I don't believe in all these religions. This was not what God intended. And if you read the Bible, most of these organizations called themselves that. God didn't call them that. If you read some of the stuff in the Bible, it says these people called themselves Idionites or whatever it was. I'm just using the term idiots in it, whatever. God didn't even call them people that. It's what they called themselves. That's why I don't do the religion thing. I believe in God. I'm not telling you, you folks believe in whatever you want. I'm going to stick with just believing in God and Jesus. And that's it. You're all, your religion titles and rituals and everything. I don't do that. I worship God. I pray to God. I don't know how to pray to the devil. I don't give the devil any power. So, and this is how all this madness created. But you're right, humanimal. She was dating a 17-year-old and she was only 13 or just turned 13. Folks, where did you guys grow up? I don't know who taught you folks this. You know, when I was 17, I was dating a girl that I went to school with, same age, my own age group. We didn't date 13-year-olds or 12-year-olds. This is madness. This is complete madness, folks. People are like, you had a disability. Yes, I did. I did. That's why I was in the slower classes in school. I was in sports in school, and the doctors back then didn't know about brain injuries. So I wrestled in high school, and I played football in high school. Right? I was on the football team, and I was on the wrestling team in high school. And I shouldn't have been on the football team because at that time I had my accident. And back then, they didn't know what a concussion was, right? So I actually went through life damaging myself even more, playing football in high school, because back then in the 70s, 80s, when I went to school, they didn't know that much about brain injuries. They didn't. Now they're putting it all together. A lot of these football players that were playing football for 10, 20 years, whatever, 8 years or whatever, now are coming up with concussions from ramming full on with helmets and stuff. Now they have concussions. Now they have great days, but then all of a sudden they'll have days where they're just lost. You can't do nothing. You can't, your brain is not functioning right, right? That's what a concussion is. You might go a long period of time with seeming normal, but then you're going to have them days where your brain just is not going to work, folks. You won't be able to do it. You'll just be lost in the world because you're having brain swelling. And it goes and it comes. And you got to train yourself. You got to overcome and adapt. You have to realize these things are not real. I'm a good person. I love myself, right? There's nothing worth hurting yourself. Nothing worth it, folks, right? Let me see what Humanimal says. I worked for a while at a big organization for brain injury. Repercussions in people's lives, unfortunate, irreversible too. Yes, she is right. Humanimal is right. It is. It's not reversible unless they open up my brain, take my brain out, and transplant it with another brain. But there is no cure for it, folks. That's why I've come to terms. I have a disability, and I've learned to train it with medication and learning that certain things in life are not real. Our monster's real, yes, but they are humans, right? They're right around us, right? Now, I can say I believe in God. Now, a lot of in the psychology world will say I'm crazy because it's not real. It was a story. And when I talk to these people, I tell them, then why are you allowing our country to be brainwashed that this stuff is real if it ain't real? Why are you allowing this to happen in our country? If you are a doctor, a scientist, and you can prove to me that this is how life created and this is what's real, I would say, okay, right? Because I'm that type of person. You have to show me. You have to prove it to me. It's just like the people that trained me how to build houses, how to put roofs on, how to do road construction, how to do landscaping, how to do painting, how to do a trade. Just how they showed me how to do these things, which I can't do no more. Broke down too much. Show me, and I'll believe you. Right? I'll follow you. I'll study what you're telling me. I don't know, And Humanimal does know about these things, and she is an intelligent woman, and she's been attacked herself, which is probably caused problems in her life and in her way of thinking and stuff when people attack you. So I understand what she's saying. Younger to manipulate, to think more of you and ask less. So I can see superficially why people think LH, 17-year-old, might be suspicious. However, teens that kill teens they generally are caught quickly. Exactly. This went on for 7 years. Uh, and here's the thing, folks. Everyone's like, well, the bodies were wiped clean. They must have killed the girls in the river. Well, then here's the proven scientific fact. If the girls were killed in the river, these guys would have had to carry the body up the embankment, which would have left footprints everywhere, showing that they were killed in the river and carried up the bank. You would have to be strong to carry these girls up the banks. So I don't think they were killed in the river. Maybe they were. If there was more than one, then they would have had no problem carrying the girls up the embankment in the middle of February, soaking wet. I live out here. It was very warm that day, but weeks before that, or a week before that or whatever, we had a big snowstorm come through here. So there was snow on the ground, but then a couple of days it got up into the high 50s or 60s and melted everything. Anybody that knows anything about geographical stuff, we had runoff from water. All the rivers and lakes were a little bit higher than usual because it was a very warm winter. We did have snow, but it got warm and melted. So everything was high. The water was a lot higher. So he would have had, or they would have had, trouble getting through that river. Now, here's the thing that I'm asking these investigators. Were the clothes wet? If the clothes weren't wet and them girls were out there, the clothes would have at least been damp from the morning dew. From the temperature, it got down to 20-something degrees that night. It was cold. The day was 60, but the night was in the 20s. If the girls crossed the river, don't you think that that would be in clothes, soaking wet, evidence that they were in the lake, they were in the creek? It would have said that in detail and all this stuff, right? The clothes were soaking wet, evidence that they crossed the river. Were the clothes soaking wet? This is what I'm getting at. Let me read my chat. I think Abby was possibly killed at Deer Creek. Abby weighed 90 pounds. Clean hands and feet. Killer had 12 to 13 abductions. Derek crosses Wilson Bridge, 3:11 p.m. Searching wrong direction, maybe. What I can't figure out, Humanimal. Here's what I can't figure out. Now, I live out here. Okay? I seen the news clips and everything when that broke. People were out there looking, searching that night, that day. They found nothing. There was hundreds of people out there, four-wheelers. They had dogs out there. I remember seeing that clip. We had a bunch of the Southern boys down there. Yeehaw, I got my boat. We got our boats. We got our four-wheelers. We got our dogs. There was hundreds of people and police. And they never found nothing. Not till the next day, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the afternoon, they found the girls right there. I don't know. It's freaky. And here's another thing. It's a ravine. And where the girls found out, you have to crawl up a giant ravine. And then you have to go back down the ravine. And it's like a sunken hole in there, right? Behind the cemetery, it's like all sunken down in there. How did that guy see them bodies? Because there's someone claiming that they were looking through their binoculars or phones or whatever, and they seen a dare. And they followed the dare. He's seen something move, and he's seen that it was a dare. And that's when he spotted the bodies. How did he see that, being that it was a ravine? You can't see nothing. Even standing on the bridge, you wouldn't even been able to see it. How did he see it? How did they put that out? That he's seen them through his binoculars or phone or whatever because he thought he seen a deer. And that's when they spotted the girls. How? When that night they searched both sides of that river. There was vehicles parked in that night in the cemetery so they can get back in there to find the girls and everything. How did this happen? Let me see what Humanimal's got to say. Oh, Humanimal, pay no attention. Actually, Paige Turner right now is being nice, but pay no attention to Paige Turner because sometimes she gets upset or he'll be counted as one, or her. Paige Turner will be counted as a viewer on this channel. All right, let's see what Humanimal's got to say. They didn't have to climb up into a ravine. You do run into the ravine coming in from north side of bridge. The girls, the scene is in a clip. The story about Dare, who knows? Yeah, that was the story that was released. Somebody found the girls the next day. They were on the bridge and was looking through binoculars or their phone or whatever and seen a deer. And then supposedly that's how they found the girls. He tracked the deer and then he seen the girls. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. But if you go by what Anthony Greeno is saying and his thing, the girls went down the hill right there by the bridge, right after the bridge leaves or ends. And they went down the hill right there, and that's where they crossed the river right there. And there is a steep embankment on the other side of that river. Now, this guy would have had to have been strong. Now, granted, when you have psychosis or mental illnesses, there's a lot of people that say you get strength, an unknown strength. Now, is it possible this little 5'4" Richard Allen waded through the waters with the girls, had them climb up the embankment, and then killed them? It's possibly. It's very possible. It's possible he killed them right where they found him or in that area. And the people are saying, well, the feet and the hands were washed and everything. Well, there's a creek right there. There's a river. These people might have just walked down to the river and got a bucket full of water or whatever and cleaned it. We don't know. But here's the thing. If they cross that river anywhere, there would have been proof of it. Footprints leading into the river and coming out. Why do I say that? Because it was muddy. It was muddy. So there would have been footprints coming in and out of the river. And a lot. Because he would have done that with both girls up and down, carried both of them up and then come back down to get the other one and carried them up. I really don't know. I'm as confused as everyone else, Humanimal. It's a creek, I know, but I call it a river, right? Because it actually connects to a river up here where I'm at. It flows all the way down, right? Some areas get real small. Some areas get bigger. It all connects down there, I think. A lot of people say it's a creek. A creek to me is something I could jump over. That's a creek. You know, I got a little creek running in my backyard. A creek is something I could jump over, right? I could walk through whatever. But at certain times, that river does get high. And that's because if anyone knows about anything about water, If you live up north here and we got runoff, where does it go? It goes down south. Where to? The ocean. Everything that comes from up here, folks, ends up in the ocean down south. So at that time, it was a creek. Maybe at one time it was kind of dry. We've been going through a drought, but actually, when you look at it, it's very wide. I'm guessing it's probably good 15, 20 feet wide. Maybe longer than that, right? It might be wider than that. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, Humanimal might be right. It's just a little creek in the summertime when we're going through droughts. She might be right about that, right? Hey, Dazed and Confused. How you doing, Dazed? I seen your channel the other night with all the karaoke stuff. That was pretty good. Oh, I seen the Bible stuff too. That's pretty good. Let me see what Human was saying. Nah, creek can be huge. Yeah, creeks can be huge too. But we all think differently, right? We all think, Humanimal might think it's a creek. I think I would say, well, it's a small river, right? Certain times of the year, the water gets flowing pretty fast through there. I'm saying it was Humanimal. Can we agree to this? I think it's the perfect storm that they created. Right? I think it's a perfect storm that these people created. Almost like the movie Perfect Storm with Wahlberger and the other guy in there and everything. And that's what they created down in Delphi, I think, is the reasonable doubt so much within our brains that it's become the perfect storm. Hold on a second. Dazed 276, how you doing? Hope everything's going good at your channel. Oh, that's good. That's good, Dave. Yeah, I got up early I went to bed kind of early. Well, I don't know if I didn't go to bed too early. I think I went to bed about 1:30, somewhere around there. But I had tea last night. Hold on, let me get the box. All right, I got this new tea. It's called Sleepy Time Celestial Seasoning Tea, extra caffeine-free, extra sleepy time. I think I got a jet coming through, folks. Hold on, or a helicopter coming in. That was a big old jet. I don't know where he was heading. I got a squirrel out here on the side of the tree. He was sitting, I just spooked him. I walked over by my door. He was sitting on my patio here, and then he just boot scoop boogied up that tree. All right, let me see what else. Yeah, so I got this new tea. I had a couple cups last night. It didn't knock me out, but I did sleep pretty good because I went to bed about 1:30. I woke up at 7:30, so it calmed me pretty good. Good sleep. Oh, look at the black squirrel and the brown one is fighting. All right. So what do I think in the Delphi? I think they made the perfect storm deliberately. So it's up to the government to solve it, right? Right. All these talks of gangs, the drugs, and Humanimal hit it right on the nose. I mean, it does seem kind of weird. 17 years old, dating a 13-year-old girl. What do we do? We still live in or old times? We'd have to lock up half of the world. You know, back in the olden days, it was nothing for a 20-year-old dude to be sleeping with a 13-year-old, right? Love is love. That's back then. I mean, you can't put an age on love, right? It's in the Bible. Old men dated young women. Well, there goes Paige Turner. Did your mommy tuck you in after your nighttime sleepy tea? No. Paige Turner says the Delphi case is strictly there for bored YouTube creators. I don't know. They better start pumping out photos of 2 dead girls in the woods, or they got a world of shit coming their way. And that's no joke. That is no joke. And it makes sense now why the Indiana militia is saying if the police department needs help, that the Indiana militia will help them. So I have the feeling this is going to get real ugly in Indiana. And there's proof that the militia or this organization down south or whatever has been making ricin in their basements or whatever. So I would have to say, I think the federal government's getting pretty fed up with this whole thing. Mrs. Paige Turner. If this was a case that was just created and it wasn't real, boy, they're in deep shit. Excuse my language, but if this was all created by a bunch of YouTubers, oh my God, they're going to beat these people silly. They got a world of crap coming. All right, this has been a 2-hour video. I got up way too early this morning, right? I should have stayed in bed. I wanted to. I woke up actually earlier than 7:30 or 8 o'clock, but I crawled back in bed. I was like, ah. But then I got up. I was like, I can't sleep no more. I felt pretty good. You know, that tea, this sleepy time tea, it didn't knock me out, but I think it did help me sleep because I felt pretty good when I woke up this morning. Right? So we'll stick with this nighttime tea. And I also been drinking the Bigelow's nighttime sleepy tea, which that's pretty good too. So I think I'll stick with this nighttime tea. Uh, excuse me. And I think I'm going to quit drinking coffee after 5 o'clock. And I think I'm going to quit drinking a soda at night. Other than that, I've been drinking lemon water, watching what I eat. Uh, Folks, if you're trying to lose weight like I was, because for many years I was on medication and it swelled me up like a balloon. Some of the psychological medication that they put you folks on, and me when I was on it, I gained massive amounts of weight. And you have to remember, I'm just a little dude, right? Uh, and I put on so much weight. I was like, I have never in my life been 190 pounds, 200 pounds. It was 189, 190 pounds. Swelled me up like a balloon. But that's what meds will do to you. Good God, after my operation, I was eating anything I can get my hand on. Being that my gallbladder was shot, I don't have an appendix. And these are things that help you digest food and everything. So I was in great shape. I wasn't I didn't have any body fat on me. I was all muscular, all fit, toned, worked. But once they took my gallbladder out because it just was shot, the weight just skyrocketed, man. I was just boom. Plus the medication that they had me on. So here's my question: if you're still out there, Mrs. Humanimal, I know it's late for Humanimal. I know you have to get some sleep. But do you think it's possible that these people created a lie and it got way out of control? And that's why the government checked into this Odin thing and found that there was just, it's a real organization, but they were not the ones that killed the girls. And here's another thing people are missing. This organization, the Odins, supposedly are a white group of nationals now that they've of white supremacy. I'm like, are you kidding me? This has gone from Odins were just people, religious people that worshiped nature. They worship nature. They have gone from worshiping nature to sacrificing. Their rules are you don't hurt wilderness trees. They love trees, bush, they love the wilderness. And they're a white group. So you're telling me now that this organization that worships the wilderness and trees. Now you see that pine tree right there? You see how the bark is real thick? And not to change the subject, do you see the texture of that tree? Now, if I went and touched that tree, which I might do an experiment here to prove to you folks, and I'm going to cover my whole hand in ketchup, and I'm going to touch that tree, and you will see that if I touch that tree, the imprint will come up on that bark that is standing out further from the inside of the bark. The invitation or indentations of the bark. So you're going to see a pattern, but it ain't going to be a full pattern because my hand cannot go all the way in, because some of that bark is probably a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick on that giant pine tree out there. And if it was an oak tree that they were found by, well, these oak trees out here, the bark is so thick, you wouldn't see a whole handprint. But Humanimal, I know it's late where you're at. Get some sleep. Thanks for stopping in. You're a great creator, an intelligent woman, uh, and I appreciate you stopping in. If you're if you're not here no more, I understand it's late by you. But is it possible that these people created this lie to divert us away from the real killers? I don't know. A lot of people are saying, why does that Matt Sullivan guy look like Brad Holder? I don't know. It is freaky, but I have no idea. Maybe it's his son, right? I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you this much. I'm done with this video. I got to end this video and get on to another video. I got to clean up around here too from last night watching YouTube or whatever. Page Turner, is there anything else you want to say? Oh, Dazed 276, thanks for stopping in. And I've been watching your channel and the karaoke nights and the Bible talk and everything. And that's what they need. You know, I think that's what a lot of these people did was they've taken the Bible out of context, right? Dazed. That's what I'm thinking. Some of these people, the Lord said, "Thou shalt not kill," but yet these people are sacrificed. The same people in the same breath that are saying that they worship God are the ones that are out doing this, and then they're saying, "Well, we're godly people. We don't." Well, the laws God wrote: "Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not." Listen, we're all sinners, right? Everyone is a sinner. The only perfect one was Jesus and God. That's it, folks. That's pretty much it. I don't know anything about this witchery, this sorcery crap, any of it, right? Oh, that's okay, human. It's late. I know you got to get some sleep. It's late by you. And the internet has been acting up like crazy. I'm wondering if they're going through the servers looking for evidence. Oh, that's okay, humanimal. Yes, thank you for stopping in, and it's always great having you in chat. Somebody that uh, is interested in the case and dazed. I think dazed 276 for stopping in. All the Bible stuff and the karaoke. That's great. But yeah, is it possible these people just took this way to the extreme? Maybe tried to pin it on someone else. Maybe actual YouTubers involved. Maybe. You know what I can't figure it out is why did Anthony Greeno on his video come out that he solved this case because he knew all these people? Well, how do you know all these people? How would you even be able to, were you part of this thing, this ritual, sacrifice or whatever? How do you know all these people? It's interesting. Right? How does he know all these people? Why would he come out on camera and say they want his DNA? Why did he say on camera that they're trying to pinch him for the Florida fires? Well, I don't know. It's unbelievable. Incredible. Unbelievable. Thank God that I'm only 8 minutes away from Michigan. Pure Michigan. Pure. It's pure Michigan. Right? Just in case we got to get away from these crazies. I don't know. And this goes to where uh, Mr. Anthony Greeno might have got himself in too deep. Now what do we do? All the women coming out saying that he's violent towards the women and children or whatever. Now what do we do? Right? I don't know. Maybe we could throw him a life preserver. You know? What do you think, Humanimal? Dazed 276. If you're still here, can they save him? Did he get himself into something that he just got in too deep? Him himself became a suspect, right? Maybe. I don't know. Can we save him, though? That's the question. Or the question really is do they want to save him? They might know something we don't. The government might know something we don't. All I can say is I will pray for him and let God sort it out. That's the only thing we can do is pray to the great creator in the sky, God himself. That's about it. But I'm thinking, we don't know what kind of evidence they have on these guys. The government might be surrounding these guys because they're just not telling us the truth. They're watching them dudes. I could tell you that much. And even they came out and said they were questioned on the case. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? Explain that to me, and I'll say, okay, show me the proof. But how do you get questioned in the double murder of two girls if you ain't got the past or something that is pointing towards you in that case? Can you folks explain that to me? If you do that, then I'm done. If you can explain that to me, then I'm done with this case. You don't get questioned for a double murder of two girls, two young girls, if they don't have some kind of lead that is pointing you towards them. You just don't get questioned unless someone brings up your name or you got some connection to that, the disappearance of that. I'm sorry, folks. You folks want me to explain, well, this is that, and that's the bottom line. The bottom line is you do not get questioned in a case like this unless you've got a past that gives them the right to look into your life. I'm sorry, I can't go any further with this, but that is the bottom line fact. You don't get questioned in a case of two little girls missing unless you were either there, the evidence points towards you, or somehow, some way you got some connection or you knew something that no one else knew in the case. That's the only way, folks. Someone brought your name up, whatever. You don't get questioned in a double murder of two young girls. It just don't happen. unless they got something that is pointing them to it. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. God does. Let's ask God to solve another case. That's all we can do. Pray to God for us to solve another case. But the bottom line is, and the facts are, you don't get questioned in the double murder of two young girls if you ain't got nothing to do with it, or there ain't some kind of evidence, or your name was brought up. And that's the bottom line. If you have a history of violence against women or children or whatever, uh, gang activity, whatever, then you get questioned. This Odin, then you get questioned. But you just don't get questioned because you're a YouTuber, and it just ain't making sense. Right? The killer called Anthony Garino. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. And if that's the case, they would have took the data off the phone. They would have took the number. They would have tracked the number, and they would have gave the device back to the owner or to Mr. Garino, which he claims they won't give him his phone back. Right? I think we got these folks. A lot of government people now are saying it's corrupt out there. We got to do something about it. Well, we might have to. Federal government might have to come in. I don't know. You might have to get other states and their militias to come in and fight this Indiana militia or corruption or whatever this secret Odins are. Right? Which I find it be a bunch of crap. Right here, we're getting these just are normal people. They worship the wilderness. They believe in white power or whatever, but yet they destroyed the trees. They cut down the branches that they worship so much to put on the girls. And then they kill two girls, which they supposedly are a white supreme. They don't kill their own kind, or do they? Maybe we're living in a country that is way out of control. It's time to bring in the animal controllers. And the only reason I say that is because these people are not acting like humans. They're acting like animals. Thus, we need the tiger tamer, the bear tamers, the elephant tamers. We just had a huge, huge jet come through here. It was rumbling everything. Probably it seemed like it was on its way down south. Who knows where it's going? I think it was our F-18 that we're missing. It's flying around up there in the sky, folks. Yes, it's true. We had a pilot eject out of one of our great fighter jets. We're hoping it crashed, but people are saying, professionals, she still had a full tank of gas. And she might be up there flying around, so I hope it wasn't armed. We got to find out these things. What happened to our jet? Right? What happened to one of our F-16 or F-18s, I think it was, or an F-17? Where's it at? Shoot it down if you see it. Before it lands in a neighborhood somewhere and wipes out a whole neighborhood. I don't know. She's flying around up there, unmanned. Excuse me. Now look at this person that come into my chat. Paige Turner says, Sue Vanna is really the growed up Libby. No, you folks are disgusting. Page Turner, why would you even say something like that? Now, is it a chance? The reason we haven't seen no crime scene photos, the reason we haven't seen no photos at all in this case, is because these girls rolled on a drug cartel out there or a biker organization. And them girls are alive and well, safe. Is it possible? I don't know. There's rumors about it that this was all made up. The girls are in witness protection and they're gone. I've heard that story. Would it make sense? Yes, if one of the fathers was involved in a drug cartel or was an informant for the drug cartel or for the police, I mean, yes, it makes sense. If word got out that that guy, one of the girls' fathers, was an informant for the police and ratted on people, well, this all makes sense. They killed the girls because they knew too much. Or one of their parents ratted on them, ratted on somebody, and they got killed. That makes perfect sense too. If it was that way, but I don't know because we don't have all the proof. We don't even have crime scene photos. We're asking, where are these photos? Where is the crime scene? Right? Where is the gruesome death of these girls that we can see? Oh, that's a young lady on the ground, and it's ugly. Right? You can't go by on hearsay, and pretty much this whole case has been hearsay. Yes, Dazed 276. Have a great day. Be safe. God bless. Thanks for stopping in. You have a great channel with all the karaoke and the Bible studies and all that. Great, great stuff. I want to thank Humanimal for stopping in. Great lady. She's got a great channel, crime channel. When you're attacked all the time, Humanimal, like me, yes, it plays a toll on your brain. Yes, it makes things worse for us people that are trying to straighten our lives out, right? We might have disabilities, we might have illnesses, we might have things. We're just trying to live peacefully and give our peace of mind in this case of what we believe. And we have the right to voice our opinions. That's what America is about, freedom of speech. But what you folks are finding out that there is no freedom of speech. If you say something somebody don't like, you're going to get attacked. If you say something that the government don't like, supposedly the government will attack. You know, we went through this with Jimi Hendrix. People tried to blame the Black Panthers for Jimi Hendrix's death. I say foobar. Crapola on that, right? That once the government found out that Jimi Hendrix was talking with the Black Panthers, Jimi Hendrix was killed right away because the government don't like people. Bull crap. How about you go back to his manager that was stealing from him? Why don't you go back and investigate him that stealing millions from him? They don't look at that, do they? Which his manager supposedly was ex-FBI or ex-CIA or whatever they were saying. Right? Why don't you go talk to him? Don't come in. It was the Black Panther. Actually, Jimi Hendrix wasn't even a Black Panther. They wanted him to be a Black Panther, but he refused. He did agree with some of the things they were saying, but he was not a Black Panther. So I don't think the government would have killed Jimi Hendrix because the Black Panthers asked for him to join them and he refused. I think it had more something to do that he was being ripped off millions. That makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. God bless all you folks. I have a disability. Everyone's has a disability. Even the president of the United States now, and people in Congress, Senate. We're doing the best we can. We survive the best we can. We're not rich. We're poor. But at least we make things look like we're rich. Everything I got in this apartment was garage sale bought, except for my guitars. A couple of my guitars I bought brand new, but the rest I bought used, but they have to be in perfect shape. They can't be all scratched up, banged up, or whatever. And everything in this apartment is pretty much garage sale bought or pawn shop. We're poor, but we want to live like humans, right? I sank my own money into this apartment complex. Put a patio out, brick patio out, so I can sit on it, put patio furniture out there. I put plants in and stuff like that. My own money. They didn't pay for that. It was out of my own pocket, and I'm poor. Because I take pride. I was raised military. You take pride, you stay clean the best you can. You fold your clothes, you do your dishes, you can't depend on a woman. I mean, I'm not trying to knock women, but if you were born and or raised into the military family life, you overcome and adapt. You only depend on your fellow brother military soldiers next to you in the foxhole. If I lived like a single dude, which I used to, I had no idea of laundry, dishes. Nah, that's women's stuff, right? You just rinse a glass out, you don't clean it, whatever. You scrape a plate off, rinse it, and you eat off of it. I used to be like that. But then again, you learn that nobody wants to be around you if you look like a bum and your whole house smells like a bum and you look like a bum. Does that make sense to anybody? And here we go with this idiot, Bendejo or Johnson or whoever these idiots are. Stolen valor, right? I didn't steal valor. I've been telling you 50 times. I was never in the military. My family was. This is what I'm talking about. This is the proof. This is what Humanimal's talking about too. People coming in here and attacking you, saying stolen valor. I don't know. Go talk to Greeno or uh, Ernie Shell or whoever, right? I've never stolen valor, right? I give credit to where credit is due. My family was in the military, but not me. You couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough. No, I got things to do other than to listen to these people talk nonsense, except for Dazed and Humanimal. Page Turner's right back to where he started. They came in nice, but now here they're back to stolen valor. I don't know what they're talking about. Let me see what else he's got to say. The only people who see the pics are cops because they share them and show them to their girlfriends. You're a sick person. Bendejo. I'm telling you, my lockup is a bunch of Zodiac killers. They actually write letters to me and everything. Really. I'll check my lockup tank, and these people write a whole paragraph of it's like a letter to me. And you really want to know the fault, the true bottom line is this is YouTube's fault and the United States government's fault because they just are not as high tech as other countries. You wouldn't be able to do stuff like this in other countries, right? You lock people up in your lockup tank and YouTube, and these people are making Zodiac letters to you and everything. these people would have already been tracked down in another country and arrested, if not taken out. So it's a serious problem. Now, you folks have a great day. Be safe. God bless you all. I feel like going back to bed, but I can't. I got things to do. Got to clean up around here. And I'm back to finishing stuff on Monday. Got to make a couple bucks, a couple quid. Right? It's the only way I know how. Hard labor. I don't know. Unless everything takes off with this movie, and then maybe one day I will be rich. But if I am, then I'll have to contact the Social Security, and they'll have to make adjustments to my pay or whatever. But you're not going to get rich on Social Security or disability, folks. I don't know what these people think, like we got millions coming in. No, you're not allowed to have any money when you're on these programs in Indiana. They keep you in poverty. All right, God bless you all. You ladies be safe. Thanks for stopping in. What a great morning. Thank God for another day. All glory goes to God. Keep the good fight going, folks. And I don't know what's up with Mr. Anthony Greeno. If we can help him, we'll try. He needs help. He got himself into a pickle. Whether they're trying to set him up or not, I have no idea. He's talking. They're trying to pinch him on a couple cases. Well, I suggest you stay off YouTube for a while and contact a lawyer or whatever just to be safe, Mr. Greeno. That's serious accusations if they're asking you for DNA and all that. And I didn't say that. This was Mr. Greeno on his video talking about it. So we'll see, right? Get somebody down there that knows it. Now, somebody is saying that the judge that was involved in this case now is Anthony Greeno's lawyer. This just keeps getting shady every day, don't it? This just gets shadier every day. The judge that's running the whole thing is now Anthony Greeno's lawyer. This is phenomenal. The corruption just gets bigger, folks. This is just getting Indiana in a world of shit. They've been threatening me if I don't keep my mouth shut, everything will be gone. If I don't do this and that, they'll kick me out of housing. So I gotta stop this, folks. They'll take everything from me again, right? They're coming in here every day claiming I got 900 kids. I need to pay my child. I wish I slept with 900 women. I'd be a lucky man. Good God Almighty. I'd be drained. 900 women. How do you sleep with 900 women? I have no idea. But there's guys out there that do it, but I wasn't raised that way. I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of world you folks live in. Look at the great eagles and hawks are out this morning. See them flying around. We got a lot of abundance of eagles now in America ever since the Canada went up in flames out there. They're flying all over the place out here. Thank God. But anyways, folks, we're going to be doing some experiments in the Delphi case with handprints on a tree, whether it be ketchup. I'll have to get the consistency of the blood. Here's another thing. If it was blood and the size of them drops, it would have ran before it coagulated. So, and we're not seeing that in that photo. So there's a lot of answering they have to. Boy, did they get themselves in a pickle. Even the government, even the police department, even the justice system, the courts have got themselves in a pickle down there in Indiana. The lower peninsulas of Indiana. We call it the lower 40. right down there. But boy, did they get themselves into a pickle. This is the only case where the police department is actually suspects. Unreal. All right, folks. God bless you all. Have a great day. Don't believe everything you hear in that case, folks. It ain't panning out. Heck, even Gray Hughes, the great Gray Hughes, which is a criminal investigator channel, was a suspect in the case. People were saying he was a suspect in the case. I was like, are you kidding me? It's got to be a group of YouTubers that tried to create a murder to solve the murder. It must be. That's the only thing I can think of. Right? I don't know. This whole Odin thing, this whole is true. Witchery, sorcery, evil, the devil. That's all true, folks. We live in a world that these things are true. But I don't see, I can't, I don't know. You folks have a great day. Be safe. God bless. I got some cleaning up to do around here. My mods are probably still sleeping right now, right? It's still early, Saturday morning. I'll be back, folks. Have a great day. Be safe. God bless. Thank Paige Turner, even though Paige Turner's not using his head or her head right. Thank Days276. Great channel with all the karaoke stuff and Bible studies. Now, I don't watch these channels every day, every minute, but I stop in once in a while and watch them. I want to thank the great Humanimal, great lady, intelligent lady, and yes, a beautiful lady, and that's probably why she's getting attacked on her channel. People get jealous. I do want to thank all my mods, although they're probably tucked away and sleeping right now and can't be here right now. That's okay. I can handle myself. I want to thank everybody, even YouTube, that's starting to come around and protect it. These people just keep striking my channel left and right. And it's unbelievable. I must have struck a nerve. Right? I must have struck a nerve somewhere, something I connected the dots somewhere, and these people are just pissed. Death threats and everything. I even had death threats on my answering machine. Right? Better keep my mouth shut or whatever. This is madness. I don't burn it all down. We're with the federal government. Right? We might have to burn it all down and start over. We might have to. God forbid. God, I hope we don't, but it's starting to look like that, folks. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great Saturday. And remember, get some sun. Pretty soon the weather will be changing here. And as you can see out there, the trees are changing color. And we're not even into October yet. So please be safe, folks. And get ready. Winter's coming. Hopefully we don't get too much snow, but from what they're saying, we might get a 1975 snowstorm out here in Chicago, Indiana, and Michigan area, and Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Right? Yeah. We need the rain. Well, we need the water. God bless everybody. Have a great day.